A truck loaded with Worcestershire sauce is driving through the Welsh town. There was a car crash and a bloke's had a heart attack. Okay, calm down, says the operator. Maybe just start by telling me where. We had the Nissan Qashqai in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Something like this just happened last week. At least you had the good sense to shorten the name of Long and Fair Pugloncree. Oh, this is fantastic. Hang on, you actually think Huawei is hard to say. You didn't write out the whole name of Long and Fair Pugloncree? I had a Welsh geography teacher when I was 14. I can actually pronounce Long and Fair Pugloncree.
A woman comes home early and finds her husband in bed with a girl. A drunk man goes home where he finds his wife at the door holding a broomstick with an angry look on her face. "Where are you flying to at this hour?" He says to her, "The other day I came home from work and my wife was sitting on the couch with I asked, 'What's going on here?' My wife replied, 'You tell me.' I told her, 'It looks like you're sitting here with some total stranger.' My girlfriend stood up and said, 'Stranger? We've been sleeping together for months.' I turned to my wife and asked, 'My God, is this true?' Some PLS explain the last part. Did they try grabbing her by the pussy? Upvote? Not because the joke was funny but because of the hilarious image of a naked woman stuck to the floor tiles. A woman walks into the produce section of the supermarket. That produces a joke. Brace yourself for the avalanche of bad puns. Have not laughed out loud from this sub in a while. This is great lol. Harrison Ford told this expertly on David Letterman. "I've never stolen an onion, but I have taken a leak." Great joke. My favorite version is ice cream. There's no fuck in chocolate. Imagine if she spelt it fuckily. Who put the sun in sunshine? Nature did. That's right, nature did. Who put the butter in butterfly? Nature did. That's right, nature did. Now, who put the freaking French fries? There ain't no freaking French fries. That's what I've been trying to tell you. And if you didn't hear all that in Jack Nicholson's voice, you're missing out. The old Jack Nicholson French fries joke repurposed. Good joke, but it gets reposted weekly.
Americans who don't want universal health care because they will pay more in taxes, but are okay with paying for health insurance. Why? They believe the private sector is more efficient than the public sector. I want universal health care, but I look at how the govt runs the VA and it worries me. My husband is a veteran. He was having what he thought were allergy asthma attacks, went to the VA, agreed it's allergies, gave him meds, kept happening, went back again. Nurse took his BP and had to go directly to there. He was having small heart attacks. He had a big one, then had stroke. He's 35. He had to go to rehab to learn to walk again. If they had caught it earlier, maybe he would be in a better spot.
Chuck Norris killed 50 enemy combatants with a hand grenade. What did Chuck Norris do when his parachute failed to it back for a refund? Chuck Norris lost his virginity before his dad did. When Chuck Norris was young, his parents would sleep in his bed whenever they were scared. Chuck Norris can kill 2 stones with 1 bird. When the Hulk gets angry, he turns into Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris does not flush the toilet. Scares the shit out of it. When Chuck Norris does push-ups, he pushes the earth away from him. Chuck Norris is currently suing NBC, claiming Law and Order are trademark names for his left and right legs. Chuck Norris was born in a house he built with his own hands. For lunch, Chuck Norris had a Whopper. At McDonald's, Chuck Norris schedules annual checkups to make sure his doctors are okay. As a boy, Chuck Norris had a paper route. There were no survivors. When Chuck Norris goes swimming, he does not get wet. The water gets Chuck Norris. Divorce judgment. Would I say this is a good post? Yes, it is made with steel pipe. Lady, why in hell do you want a divorce? I do not want a divorce in hell, I want a divorce here. This is what you get for marrying Amelia Bedelia. Erling Haaland divorce case. Do you have anything to say in your defense? No, Your Honor, I am not the fence. We have a white picket one. Would be funnier to say because my husband bad at communicating with me. Suddenly, everyone realizes the judge is Mark Hamill. May divorce be with you. This is a repost from a couple of days, weeks, months, years ago. 2FR2 Fioc's divorce communicate. I wanted to marry my English teacher when she got out of jail. By the time she gets out she'll be old enough to be your grammar. Is there a predicate law for that? Our angry upvote. A former student playing petty upon her release waiting for her to ask, "Can I go now?" So they can respond, "Are you?" That's what you get for being pedantic when I needed the bathroom. Word. I'm sure you could have found a clause to make it legit. Why was she in jail? From here inappropriate verbiage. Best joke in general in a damn while. That's where op messed up. Rookie mistake preposition just go straight to pound town. That's where op messed up. Rookie mistake preposition just go straight to pound town. I love this. I heard she went to jail for failing to start sentences with uppercase letters. Apparently, it's a capital crime. It will eventually become common for people with $1 million in their bank account to worry about paying bills. Op just learned about inflation. Rich people have plenty of debt. Lols. I'm not sure you could find a person with $1 million in their bank who is not worried about their bills. The nut is higher, the risk of losing is higher, the time until not adding to the pile is shorter, etc. Given a not crazy set of assumptions, $1 million is not enough to retire for most people under like 65 years of age who are healthy. Have you met the American healthcare system? People with $1 million net worths are absolutely worrying about paying their with $1 million in their bank account are much more rare than that. Odds are they're not worrying about that and won't be for a while. I hope I get a raise that's proportionate to inflation by the time this is widespread. Won't someone think of the millionaires? It's crazy that people put their mental illnesses in their bios as if it's a badge of achievement or a medal. When I'm not upfront about my mental illness, people complain I'm leading them on. When I am upfront about it, people complain I'm making it my entire. Almost feels like people actually just don't want people with mental illnesses to exist. I think it's just info. It's not like they should be ashamed of their illnesses. Have you ever actually talked to someone about why they have their mental illnesses? And there are many of us it's finding like-minded individuals or normalizing mental health conditions that we were taught to be ashamed of and hide. I don't see that happen often, and when I do it's more of a hey, heads up, I have blank, so be aware of that because it will affect how we interact than anything else. I have learned in life that it is better to be upfront with people about anything that could possibly cause friction issues. Especially when it comes to not wasting my own. It's better to own your shortcomings instead of worrying about what others will think.
Sex is the only physical exercise that even lazy person want to do. You underestimate how lazy I am. Well, sadly no. A weight gain can cause hug libido loss. Sex or sleep, I chose sleep. Bold of you to assume I want to. Not exactly. There's people that love to starfish. Many people have sex, but only so many are good at it. Reminds me of this recent legal case in the UK where a fat girl got away with basically raping a guy by claiming I'm way too lazy to do that. Yes, I know it's legally not rape in UK because by law only man can rape, but I call it how I see it. I don't just lie there, if that's what you're thinking.
Till New York City is sinking 1-2 millimeters each year due to the weight of its skyscrapers, worsening the effects of rising sea levels and flooding. How many skyscrapers would we need to fill with helium to undo this? Assuming a constant rate of sinking of 1.5 millimeters per year, at 540 meters one World Trade Center would be underwater in 360,000 years. Strangely, places that were covered in glaciers during the last ice age are still springing up after the weight of trillions of tons of ice has been lifted. Start spreading the resinking tea. Want to be a part of York, New York? The skyscrapers should just tell the water I'm fucking walking here and it'll just back off. Easily solved if once a year every person in NY has to take a bucket of water from the sea and dump it down the drain. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Well, it was established by the Dutch after all. Till in 1968, the U.S. Navy proposed a 6,000-mile-long underground antenna system that would have covered 40 of the state of Wisconsin. It needed 100 underground power plants and was supposed to survive nuclear attacks. Posting about big antennas on Till, so hot right now. For career day in high school, we had a guy named Mike who protested the ELF antenna multiple times and went to jail a bunch for it. Kinda fun for a career day, ha. Ultra low frequency. There was an X-Files episode about this. If we can make huge plans in case of communists, why can't we also make huge plans in case of climate change? If this sounds crazy, imagine what actually got approved and kept secret. Was this an X-Files episode? Exploding birds, and people's inner ears rupturing? The ELF system, some copper salvager is currently getting his digging tools. Till that Jews for Hitler was a real organization. It was called the Association of German National Jews. It was disbanded after the Nazis came to power and its founder was sent to a concentration camp. It was disbanded after the Nazis came to power and its founder was sent to a concentration camp. Yeah, that's my name. How can I help you, gentle? Hey, what are you doing? You can't do this. Wait, there must be a misunderstanding. Don't you see? I'm on your side. I'm one of the good ones. AGNJ founder. Probably. Okay, now this is interesting. We'll be reading more into this because it confuses me. To my understanding of history, wasn't Hitler always openly anti-Semitic? Our leopard sodomy face. Still, that the first political assassination in Roman history took place in 133 BC when Tribune Tiberius Gracchus tried to redistribute land to the poor, and was promptly beaten to death with wooden chairs by the Senate. So nothing has changed, huh? There is no way Rome went until 133 BC without a political assassination. They existed for at least 300 years prior. Fun fact. That's a statue of Augustus wearing decorative armor from the 1st century A.D. The small child at his feet is a symbol of Cupid, Venus's son, put there because powerful people at the time enjoyed connecting their ancestry to God's heroes, powerful historical people, to elevate their status. Augustus led his family tree back to Venus, hence why Cupid is part of his statue. By God, that's Claudius's music. Oh wait, no folding metal chairs. Maybe I'm just high, but this kinda makes me sad. Till the man who eats practically only Big Macs featured in Super Size Me has a problem with his taste buds and often doesn't even taste the sandwiches. Gorsk tried the Whopper after his friend bet him $5 to do so, later spending the winnings on Big. I like Big Macs, but personally I'm a quarter pounder with cheese. I get it. You all know that one scene from Pulp Fiction. I honestly wasn't trying to reference it, I just really like that particular burger. If your taste buds were messed up and you couldn't taste what you were eating, why would you still choose to eat McDonald's, which is terrible for you? Just eat some healthy food, you literally won't tell the difference. I don't get it. The fact that French fries are vegan just doesn't feel right. Guess it all depends on what oil they are fried in. What until you hear about regular Oreos? They weren't always vegan, and some of them still aren't. McDonald's original French fries were cooked in beef, cooked in duck fat are also pretty darn good. Vegan/vegetarian doesn't mean healthy. Lots of things are accidentally vegan, but not healthy. Veganism has nothing to do with health, it's about animal cruelty. Vegan lifestyle healthy. There are lots of things you wouldn't expect. I'm pretty sure I remember Oreos are vegan and Twizzlers as well. Coke and most sodas are also vegan. Coke doesn't mean healthy. It's just no animals. Not all French fries are vegan. At least one fast food chain loudly advertises that they use pure vegetable oil for frying. Buried in the fine print they disclose that the fries have beef flavoring sprayed on them at the factory. To start a zoo you need at least 2 pandas, a grizzly, and a polar. The bare necessities, smiley face, or just one dog, but it'd be a Shih Tzu. And you must have the qualifications. I like this one. I went to a real bad zoo once. The only exhibit was a single dog in a cage. It was a Shiatsu. Perfect dad joke right here. At a molecular level, this may be enough, but do watch out of those delicious bear claws. Oh dear. Enough with the unbearable puns. You need senators, like Mitch McConnell. Nancy Pelosi is a zoo. And a dog, obviously. Otherwise how would you have this Shih Tzu? This joke is unbearable. Zoo security has the right to bear arms. That's barely enough. Excellence maybe replace polar W koala? Polar bear is how I normally hear it, and skipping that word kind of steps on the punchline a little. We're lucky that boogers don't smell bad. You would cease to smell them after a while, would be scentless. When I'm sick I can smell my boogers and they smell bad. They do. You just don't notice it cause they spawn in your nose. Oh, they can. They definitely can. It's just easy to get nose blind to stuff. My toddler sometimes wakes up smelling like boogers. Don't know how else to describe it, but it definitely isn't great. And we are unlucky that they taste so good. They do. You're just used to who else can smell your boogers when you're talking to them. My wife can tell when I'm congested because of the smell coming from my sinuses. I can't smell it myself, but it apparently has odor. They do. You just can't smell your own. Do you think my boogers smell different from your boogers? Like, if we switched boogers, how unbearable would it be? Otherwise my boss's office would stank. Maybe they do. I doubt we'd notice at this point. Whether or not to use 2 knives when making a PBJ at a friend's house is the ultimate test of one's morals. A knife and a spoon. Duh, really? That's ultimate morale test? One knife is all that's ever needed. Jelly first, then wipe the knife on the other piece of bread. Then peanut butter. No problem. A spoon works much better for the jelly, knife for the PB. Still that apparently I'm the only weirdo that buys jelly in the squeeze bottle. I was very confused as to why you'd need a second knife. Lol. Never mix containers with the same utensil. Separate utensil for each. What kind of heathen lets a guest use their PB&J? Those are my it's too late to eat dinner and too early to eat breakfast snack choices. If someone is coming over to my place to eat something, I'm not offering them my midnight sandwich material. That's like someone getting cut at your house and giving them tape and paper instead of a Band-Aid. Use one knife but both ends.
What TV trope was common in the not-so-distant past but is completely unacceptable today? I have doubts that a clip show episode would do well these days. Your episodes without a big budget cost. But shows are increasingly getting written and budgeted around how many episodes the story needs, and not how many they need to fill every time slot that season. Game show hosts kissing female contestants on the lips. Very special episodes where characters meet life-altering situations, drug addictions, teen pregnancy, gun violence, and then are back to being carefree the next episode. Jokes about spousal abuse.
What is hard for you to resist if you see it on a restaurant menu? A Monte Cristo. Fortunately, they are rare. Pecan pie. There was a brew pub next to the college I went to that served the absolute best pecan pie I ever had. It was made with a touch of their porter beer. I bet I ate 12-15 pies by the slice in the 3 years I was there. I am still chasing that by 25 years later. I'm a biscuit whore. When I travel down south it's game on for sure. Cheesy garlic bread, Cuban sandwich, I'll ask the waitstaff if it is good, popular, and it is a go most times unless they say it is shit. Eggs Benedict at a breakfast brunch place. Prime rib, a French dip sandwich, tiramisu, creme brulee, sweet potato fries, mozzarella sticks, biscuits and gravy, French onion soup, elote or street corn. I do like an affogato, not often come across fried green tomatoes. Reuben. What Redditism pisses you off? How everyone thinks they are so smart, taking the smallest bit of information about someone and extrapolating it to the most outrageous assumptions. It's so fucking pathetic how sad some people are about their own life that they make up a shitty life for strangers. The incredibly unfunny comment chains. 1. Not reading the article and then making dumb comments that are answered refuted in the first paragraph. 2. Not reading and then complaining that the headline doesn't include every single detail as if they were supposed to fit the entire story in the headline so you wouldn't have to read it. 3. Praising the importance of good journalism and then circumventing complaining about paywalls and ads. 4. Expecting quick and easy soundbite-sized solutions to complex problems. What would you do if you won $20K right now? Put it towards the cost of the home I'm trying to finally buy. $20,000 would make a huge difference. It's not a huge sum in the grand scheme of things, but it'd alleviate a lot of financial insecurity. Just throw it on the pile, I suppose. Eliminate most of my debt. Have rent money for the next few months. Lol. Drop it on my mortgage and go right back to being house poor like nothing happened. Who abandoned their core audience and paid the price for it? Little website called Dig. Did a major site refresh to increase site revenue without considering the impact and lost their entire user base to Reddit essentially overnight. I just learned from a TikTok that Applebee's tried to become a club at night to attract younger customers, but no one wanted to go hang out at Applebee's, and all the old people who used to go Applebee's didn't like that it turned into a club at night, so they stopped going, and now no one likes Applebee's. JCPenney changed their stores about 12 years ago to go after a cooler audience. Turns out the cool kids didn't want to shop there and loyal JCP shoppers didn't want to anymore either. They've been trying to undo this for years but still struggling. The Raiders used to have a great home field advantage in Oakland. Now every game in Vegas is half filled with away fans. Tumblr.